All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the American Dota League. We've got a bunch of great games here on Saturday afternoon. First off, it's Evil Geniuses versus Team Dignitas. My name is Mott. With me today is NY John. How are you today, John?
I'm doing great, and I'm excited to see this game in particular. EG versus Dignitas, a rivalry that's dated back about a year now, and both teams seem to get the better of each other on a fairly even basis. I'd say it's kind of a toss-up game, despite the fact that Dignitas at DreamHack, of course, had a huge upset victory over Na'Vi, I believe, which was phenomenal, and EG not quite the same upset caliber, but both teams did well and finished top four, I think.
Yep, you're exactly right. And, I'm really excited to see these teams. Of course, Evil Geniuses, they're undefeated, by the way, in the ADL. Team Dignitas only dropping 1 or 2 games, I believe, here in the ADL. So both teams just trying to vie for that top spot. We'll see if EG can continue their hot streak right now as they ban out the IO, the Nature's Prop from Team Dignitas. And we saw EG play some rather interesting lineups last night. The Zeus, of course, coming out for Fear in that support capacity. Do you think we're going to see anything crazy here against Team Dignitas?
I think we'll see a little bit more standard. If I had to pick a hero selection that would be a little bit more off the radar, I'd say Doom can make his way into the game, probably on the side of Dignitas, and there's an off chance we'll see a Warlock, but I don't think we'll see anything like a Zeus in this matchup just because the caliber of opponent is certainly higher. No offense to the previous opposition, but of course, Dignitas and EG are both top teams, especially in the North American scene, as we do see the completion of the banning phase gets rid of Batrider and Lone Druid. First pick Darkseer for Dignitas.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're going to be going fast. I know Universe plays a very good Darkseer. Likes to get that Iron Shield going. Obviously, that wall replica early on, just doing some damage. We'll see if he goes for mech. And you made a good point about Doom. Snaking's played a lot of Doom, especially race car Doom, as you call it now. I guess you could say phase and drum. Essentially, I've seen games where Snaking just tries to max move speed on that Doom, and he essentially just goes around, runs at people, and kills them without any problem whatsoever. So I'm excited to see if Snaking's going to do the same thing this game. He's very used to that Doom, and I think they even use that during DreamHack, so it's definitely a good pickup for them. And Dignitas is known for their wide repertoire of heroes that they like to pick. They were one of the teams that really popularized the Spectre pickup early on. In the last patch, of course, you talked about Warlock mid already. So Dignitas, I think, is a team where they like to try out new lineups. While EG does that as well, you said and mentioned about the type of team that they're going up against, the caliber. They probably will keep to pretty standard draft here, but they might just pick something absolutely crazy in these first 2 picks. I would be wrong, and I'd be fine with that. I'd be like, you know what, that's fine. I don't care. Just pick like Alchemist or something. Well, Alchemist is actually pretty standard now, so pick like a freaking Sniper, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, EG has always been the kind of team that finds a lineup that they really have success with and just continue to play it over and over again. We saw it with the 4 Knights strategy a while back, and it really is their play style. The lineup itself could be a little bit off the radar initially, but then everyone starts seeing it, but their execution is so take victories. I mean, the fact that midway through the draft, when they used to use the 4 Knight strategy, people can predict it and still not beat it, says a lot about their play overall. We do see a Disruptor pick really early here, so talking about some crazy things, Sven Disruptor this early on in the draft is definitely unusual.
It's like we're going back to DreamHack Winter again, except I don't know if they're going to use this Sven as a support or as Sven as like a carry. I really don't know at this point. It's interesting that they picked up the Disruptor now. I mean, given how good he was, I think, at DreamHack Summer, I think it's smart that they picked it up. He might have been banned out by Dignitas. Dignitas going for the Jakiro with the second pick, which is something we've seen actually very recently a lot of the time. So Jakiro's Jakiro and Darkseer are like the Wombo combo, I guess if you want to call it that, together. You vacuum into that Ice Path, which we mentioned a lot yesterday. But that's easier said than done. We will have to see how that does play out for Team Dignitas. The bans are going through. The Gyrocopter is the third ban, making sure that carry is not going to get through, followed by the Enigma, then the Clockwork from EG. Make sure they don't have that hookshot initiation from Dignitas, and then, of course, they've got one more ban as well on top of that. So, interesting for that Sven and Disruptor pickup. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with that, but I guess we'll find out. So,
yeah, it's a little bit of awkward start to the draft just because we don't see Sven nearly as often. It's hard to decipher whether or not he's going to be a support or a carry. Certainly, Fear can play him as a support. We've seen that happen recently as well, but they could opt for him as a carry. Disruptor is a hero that facilitates Sven's damage output very well in teamfights because, of course, restraining heroes from moving is exactly what a Sven wants. So you can really get some good early momentum going. Also, Sven has pretty good pushing ability since the God Strength makes him mighty strong. We'll have to see, maybe indicated by a secondary carry pick here, or perhaps even a different support, just exactly what capacity the Sven will be in. I do like Sven as a support because Warcry offers so much armor to your team that it really is a good option against a lot of carries in the current game. So I think he can be valuable in that regard. And Disruptor, I think this is early for him because usually not banned out third or fourth. Of course, teams that are known to use him a little bit more could find him banned out against them, but still, it's a little bit of a reach for me. But it looks like some of the good supports like Shadow Demon and Bane are making it through the draft, so EG don't look like they're going to pay for it really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that Dignitas didn't push him that bad with that ban there. I mean, the Leshrac ban I think is definitely a good ban because you've got that Disruptor, you've got this Sven, you get the Glimpse back, of course you get this Stormhammer going, and that Leshrac can hit that stun rather easily. So I think that's a smart ban coming out from Dignitas. Sven, like you mentioned, can be played either in the support or in the carry capacity. Warcry so good early on, so good for team fights as well. And really, this is where the draft's going to get shaken up. We're going to see EG pick up a hero in just a moment here. About 47 seconds left in reserve time right now. Dignitas, they look like they have a little bit more of a standard lineup. They're going to go for the Beastmaster, which they can send mid, which Demon has played often. Not really a lot recently, but it's something that they like to do. And that gives you a really quick level 6, a really quick Primal Roar, which is excellent for initiating into team fights and just getting things done, including just stopping magic immune heroes like a Nyx or someone with a BKB. So an important pickup for Evil Geniuses, and we'll see what the response is from Team Dignitas as they pick up their next hero.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if EG's trying to set up for a Morana pick here, just because the Sven support and Disruptor, they can both work pretty well with her, and now you have a Beastmaster with another long disable. You'd be a little bit single target oriented in terms of your damage output in the later stages of the game, but they might be able to deal with that. Meanwhile, Dignitas, looking for a third hero. Jakiro, Darkseer, we always say about establishing a good foundation, and these are two heroes that you can almost put anything else on top of, and it's going to be that Morphling pick, which they have been putting mid in the hands of Snaking recently. And Morphling, we saw last night on Tri-Lane really suffer, but that was probably because of poor play overall. I think as a middle option, he's pretty good, and if he's up against a Beastmaster, he should do well.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And then Anti-Mage coming right out for the Evil Geniuses side, so that's going to be... Maybe they do an aggressive tri-lane, they send Beastmaster mid, and they do Anti-Mage solo safe lane, because you've mentioned how they like to send Jo into that solo safe lane capacity and just let him farm up against an offlaner. However, they could do a tri-lane with Sven and Disruptor. I'm not sure what they can get done there. I mean, Anti-Mage will be able to lay into them because, of course, that Disruptor's kinetic field. Going back to the Morphling, yes, they can put it in the hands of mid with Snake King, but also AOI 2000 loves to play that hero as well. We will have to see how that goes, but... right now, both drafts looking pretty good, pretty decent. And then there's that Doom that I was talking about earlier. And I gotta think that that's gotta be Snake King's Doom. They just love that hero. Just the amount of damage that he can output through Scorched Earth, through, of course, the level question mark Death. And just Devour, which gives you a bunch of different utilities. Of course, depending on what creep you do Devour. So, Doom gonna get picked up from Team Dignitas, and he's going to bring the Doom. And I'm excited to see it. And then we have 2 more bands to go, and then we're going to get one pick each, and we'll jump into the game.
Yeah, Doom is kind of like one of the new old heroes. Of course, he's been changed a lot with the recent patch, 6.78, and it is beneficial for him. He just farms so well. You can put him in the jungle if you need to. Competitive teams are not likely to do that, but in the lanes, being able to devour a creep and get some extra money out of that as well is a good look for Doom. And being able to shut down one hero in the middle of these team fights is huge, especially against a hero like Anti-Mage. Even sometimes going for the supports, just taking them out of the mix completely in the beginning of the fight, it really is valuable. And afterwards, the concern is Doom drops off in terms of his ability to output damage, but the race card Doom seems to operate a little bit better because he can get around the team fight, you can get off some of those level deaths, and just be able to use your auto attacks to fall back on. So I do like this hero, and I think we're going to see increasingly more Doom picks as we go on. We've seen Dignitas be one of the real 4 front runners in terms of picking up the Doom, but I think more teams will realize that he is a very valuable hero, and you can fit him into a lot of different lineups effectively as we wait for a 5th ban from Dig.
Yeah, I agree with you, and there's one thing I want to point out is that Disruptor can be so damn annoying in team fights. If Doom gets his Doom off on the Disruptor, there's a good chance that Disruptor is going to go down without getting any of his abilities off because he's going to be silenced, cannot get that Static Storm down, and that Static Storm is pretty much what makes or break a team fight. I mean, you've got a Jakiro and a Darkseer, both of which can output a ton of magic damage there. If you're able to Kinetic Field and Static Storm both of them, you're in a good position to win that team fight, especially with Sven throwing that Storm Hammer out and just going to town on both of those heroes. With that being said, though, Doom, of course, can stop that from happening. Anti-Mage as well is going to be really kind of that other trump card for EG and see how they can really farm and just level up him, get him his mental style as quickly as possible. Whether or not he'll go for that battlefield remains to be seen. Pretty, like 90% sure probably will be, depending on the lane he gets put in. But we still have 2 more picks to go, 1 pick for each side, and we will jump into the game. This is the first game of the afternoon, by the way. I believe we have 6 games this afternoon for the ADL, so I'm not 100% sure, but check that out on Join Dota. They've got that match ticker. Then the Pugna coming out for Evil Geniuses. Wow. Very interesting.
Wow. I really thought that was going to be a Mirana or Weaver, but they opt for a Pugna instead. This is aggressive. I like Pugna a lot, but I like him in teams that are more on the edge of a push lineup. Evil Geniuses don't have that many things going for them as a pushing squad. Sven, of course, with the God Strength, and the extra attack speed aura from Beastmaster is nice, but Pugna's going to be here just to try and torment Dignitas in team fights. The Nether Ward has always been an infuriatingly good ability, and with high mana cost now on most of Morphling's abilities, Doom, of course, and even Jakiro in some instances, Pugna can really be a clutch hero, and I wonder, the question is going to be if they put farm on him. They're probably going to let Jo solo farm that bottom lane against the Darkseer if they're able to. Does that mean Pugna's the featured hero in their tri lane? We'll have to wait and see, but it's going to be interesting.
I don't think so, because Bambo picked up that Beastmaster, and he's generally the offlaner, so it looks like they will send him to the offlane, and then they're going to do that tri-lane with Anti-Mage, the Sven, and then, of course, the Disruptor, or the Pugna in place of the Disruptor, and then one of those heroes is going to be mid. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. But with that being said, we are going to jump into the game in just a moment, guys. So thank you for joining us here on the American Dota League. I am Malt. With me is MY John. We've got, I think, 6 great games today, including a bunch of just really strong matchups. So stick around. We're going to jump into the game in a moment as we're waiting for the picks to complete, or I guess the heroes to be chosen. But yeah, a lot of great Dota action today. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and I'm really curious to see how this one's going to turn out. We have more of a new look EG side in terms of their hero picks, and Dignitas going kind of what they've been doing and what's been working for them over the last several weeks. So we'll see who's going to get the better of this game.
You know what? You were right. You were definitely right. They switched Bambo to the Pugna, and it looks like they're going to do... They were sending Jay up to the top lane to get that solo farm, but they want to do 5-man aggression bottom. So 5-man aggression coming out, it looks like from both teams. They just want to make sure on the side of Dignitas that everything's not blocked. Throw some wards up here for the side of EG. Just try to get some introductions real quick while we've got time. Bambo will be on the Pugna. We got Betas up on that Disruptor. Demon's going to be on the Beastmaster. Jo, a.k.a. 778, will be on the Anti-Mage, and Fear will be on that Sven. Meanwhile, we'll see, of course, snaking on that Doom. AUI 2000 on his favorite Morphling there, or AUI 2000 if you will. The Solace stand-in is going to be on Rubik. Fogged will be on the Jakiro, not a surprise there, and Darkseer played by Universe. So we do see some wards thrown down here. One nicely placed here, going to block this creep camp and make sure that pull is not happening. We will see an aggressive tri-lane with Bambo here, with Beateds, as well as, of course, Fear. And this is, I think, a pretty disgusting tri-lane.
Yeah, and things can definitely get out of hand. The good thing for Dignitas is that they had the long-range disable from the Ice Path to try and disengage. They also have Telekinesis, which is another really good disengage mechanic because you lift someone up and then toss them backwards, and Morphling has a waveform. So, you know, if EG aren't getting kills and they aren't taking down the tower, then this lane is going to go for Dignitas because they're 3 ranged heroes, of course. So that's going to be crucial to see if EG can actually finish on the kill, if they can make use of perhaps a level 2 glimpse coming out from Disruptor and capitalize on 1 or 2 kill opportunities, because once those kills go down, the tower is going to fall shortly thereafter.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jo is going to be going up against Solo Universe. Universe knows this. Down in the bottom lane, they know this is aggressive tri-lane, so Aui's got to be careful here. He's got Fogged with him on the backside. They know that this is warded right now. They're looking for the ward here, and so far Solace can't find it, which is going to be difficult for him to find it. But you can see Bambo trying to get close. He's got that Nether Blast, and he's going to be punishing pretty often. That Nether Blast is pretty cheap for 85 mana for the 100 damage, and there goes that already the Thunder Shot coming out from the Disruptor there. But like you said, this is a tough lane, I think, if you're in a tri lane you don't get anything done. It's not like you've got that pull camp like you do on the Radiant side if you're going for an aggressive tri lane there. You have nothing really to pull to here if you're on the Dire side. You just have to go for kills, you have to go for aggression, especially with a Morphling who can morph into strength and survive a little bit longer than you'd like him to. He'll be in an okay position. And against a Rubik as well as a Jakiro, which is a pretty defensive tri lane, this might be tough. But looking at the other matchups right now, it's 8-8, and meanwhile, Nether Blast going down to the bottom lane. But yeah, 8-8 in the top lane right now. You can see already Universe is just bringing the creep wave back, making it kind of difficult for Jo to last hit under the tower. Mid lane, Demon's got 5, 4 for snaking at this point, so really even so far in this game, but that could change quickly.
Yeah, and this is EG's bread and butter. They want to solo Jo in any game where they can, with it being reasonable, of course. They love this Anti-Mage versus Darkseer matchup, and so far, Universe has done a good job of not giving up these free denies.
Oh, Stormbolt down to the bottom lane. There's going to be the Nether Blast as well. Solace taking that Thunder Shock. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it's going to be First Blood. Beatties will grab it just barely with that Thunder Shock. And that was, they saw an opening, and bam, just like that. It was very quick.
Yeah, that was a nice kill for them. And, of course, I was looking at the top lane, and what I was saying is that it's really easy to give up denies as Darkseer because you're all on that Ion Shell damage, and he has done a good job of not letting those denies come out early on. So Jail's going to need to get those to really take full control of the lane. Otherwise, you're going to see Universe do pretty well up there.
I mean, he should get some decent farm as that Darkseer, and I mean, like, this is exactly what they want if you're on Dignitas. I mean, for Universe, but at the same time, you know, they want Owie to farm right now. He's only got 5 last hits. The Pugna is beating him, and they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Owie here. Luckily, Snaking's getting some farm mid. He's got 8, but of course, Beastmaster's got 13 right now. So it looks like EG is leading the way so far in terms of just last hits, as well as, of course, those kills. Going for Tranquils is going to be the Anti-Mage, surprisingly enough. Looks like he just wants a little bit more regen, at least for now, and movement speed as well. I'll probably get those treads eventually, but going to go for that very early Battle Fury, maybe. Nether Blast going again, not going to do any damage down in that bottom lane. Axe is going to go in the mid lane. Demon's got double damage, and he's doing some damage too, of course, Snaking. Snaking picked up the Tornado for his first creep there with the Wildcat and Warchief, so very interesting.
Yeah, Tranquils are amazing against Darkseer just because you can regen the slow damage that he does output. But looking back at this bottom lane, having 1 kill for EG is really good, but they need a lot more on top of that. As we can see, the CS11, here we go.
He decrepified himself. There's going to be the kinetic field waveform going through. Bambo taking a lot of damage. That dual breath still ticking. Fear now on the run. As you can see, they pop that war cry. Bambo trying to get out. He's very speedy. He's got boots right now. They won't be able to get that kill. He decrepified himself right as they threw him into the tower range, and then the waveform came through and did that damage to him. So that's very interesting that he's able to survive that.
Yeah, you can quick cast that decrep really effectively. We saw Sakshi could do it in DreamHack, and it was amazing plays by him because he'd play so safely by using it. Of course, that is the flip side. There's a lot of magic damage coming out, so it's a little bit risky at times. But it looked like Dignitas were a little bit reluctant to jump in because they didn't want to group on top and give a perfect Stormhammer. However, they were able to disengage on the part of EG, and now we'll see them pick up a couple items from the side shop and maybe get this lane going a little bit more in favor of Dignitas, but it's pushed out pretty far now.
Yeah, and they can't pull, and this has been the problem for the supports on the side of Dignitas. Meanwhile, Fear coming in, looking for a Stormhammer. There it goes on Fog. Nice Ice Path, though. Telekinesis waveform through. Bambo is going to go down. Nether Blast gets off, however. Now Beat is taking some more damage. They're going to go back and just try to go on Fear with that Warcry. Is very tanky, but the Warcry is gone now. Can they catch him? Fog's got an Ice Path. It's going to go. Barely catching Fear. Is there enough damage? The waveform, the dual breath. Yes, they'll pick up the kill with Rubik, but now the kinetic field to Decrepify for AY, and Bambo comes in. He gets a double kill to turn it around. Nice job from Bambo to get back into the fight. Throw down that Nether Ward as well on the side. And Bambo goes down, but then they trade 2 for Dignitas, so this is going exactly the way they wanted to. Ice Path was about to come out from Fogged, however, he realizes that he could have just killed himself like he just killed the other 2 heroes, as TPs were coming in from Dignitas.
Yeah, and they're trading so well now that Morphling has absolutely nothing going on. Even though he was able to pick up 2 assists in that last little instance, he still can't afford to buy boots, which is really holding him back, because had he had boots in that last engagement, he could have killed off the, I believe it was Disruptor without even having to over pursue there and allow Bambo to re-enter the fight. We're already 6 minutes in, so his inventory is looking mighty sparse thus far, and that's a big concern because we look at middle and we see Doom is a little bit behind in CS, not that big of a deal, but if Doom and Morphling aren't doing that well, then it can definitely be trouble as top lane Universe is getting ganked.
Yeah, Demon's going to come in. He's going to look for a roar, but Universe kind of knows this is happening. He's going to surge himself out the opposite way. Here comes Demon. He's looking for that long-range roar. He's got to get in range of it. You can see that circle there that I'm hovering over right now.
Here's the
Universe.
Doom reinforcements.
Oh, Doom is here on the backside. He's going to Doom Demon right now. Demon, he can't use his roar anymore, and now Beatus is coming in as well. He misses the kinetic field. He has that glimpse. There's the glimpse. It's going to push him back. Snaking, he's pretty fast. He's got that haste from, so he'll escape. Meanwhile, Universe taking a lot of damage. Joe, he's got the mana void. He's getting body blocked by Snaking. Look at the body blocks. Universe might be able to escape, and he will, in fact, somehow, even with all the reinforcements from EG or Dignitas, I guess, coming out from both sides. I mean, nothing really changes there in that fight, so... But Demon actually gets Ice Path here, and Dual Breath's going to go, and Snaking thinking about dive, and Kinetic Field, Demon walks back into it, or excuse me, that was Beatus is the one playing the Disruptor. I'm not sure why I forgot that. There's a Stormhammer down at the bottom lane. Oh, AUI 2000 takes a lot of damage from the Nether Blast as well as that ward when he Strength morphs, but he's okay for the time being, so interesting trades going on, but no real deaths just happening. At least not yet anyway.
Oh,
but,
maybe now Bambo gets tossed back towards the
Bambo,
tower.
Yeah, Universe chasing after him. He is Iron Shield up. The Nether Blast is going to go do some damage to Solace. He's trying to hide. He's got that Nether Ward. You can see, but Universe is just going to stand next to him and pick up that kill as that Darkseer. Now TPing mid is going to be Demon. He's got that Roar. He might use it on Snaking. Snaking doesn't have Doom for another 30 seconds or so. And we'll see if they want to go on this. And I mean, Demon's going to throw his axes there, and it looks like Snaking should back off. Scorched Earth is going to go. Demon's actually taking quite a bit of damage from that, but...
Yeah, and you don't want to fight him when his Scorched Earth is up as well because Doom's just going to regen even quicker, so it's a little bit of an issue, but that last segment was nice. Bottom lane, it looks like they're going to try and jump here again. Stormhammer, maybe?
Decrepify, nice telekinesis, Solace. He's barely going to get out, I think,
wow.
just in time, but...
No
yeah,
hammer.
Bambo taking a lot of damage just from those creeps alone, and he's got no regen right now, so he's got to be very careful. And that Stormhammer is actually just going to be used to get some farm for Fear, as he's sitting right now at level 4. He wants to get his boots. As you can see, he's got no boots. He's pretty quick without them, but still. Meanwhile, there's still 2 mid here for Dignitas. Universe is now taking the creeps here from the mid lane, and we're actually going to see a dive on top. It looks like Anti-Mage wanted to go unfogged for a second. That's not going to happen. Jayo's going to go ahead and deny some of these creeps, but... If we look at the graphs here, it should be pretty even. 1,500 experience is going for EG and 500 gold, so relatively even game right now. 54 CS for JO at 8 minutes into the game, and a lot of that I think is due to the fact that kind of recent turnaround where Universe had to head down to that bottom lane and get that kill up on Bambo, but still, now there's 2 up in the top lane, and Snaking looks like he's going for Doom. Oh, just barely able to get out as the Anti-Mage with that blink. He senses danger. And Jay's like, I'm out of here. I don't want to get doomed, so he just leaves immediately. Now there's 3 bottom again. Back to the tri-lane that they were in before. And still, Solace is kind of just hiding away. He doesn't have a whole lot of regen. He's level 5, AUI 2000. He's got that strength morph if necessary. He can get decrepified. Beatus is maybe looking for a glimpse, and AUI 2000 is like, yeah, I'm not going to go any further than this. And I don't blame him. He's only sitting on 18 last hits, however. He needs something to get going here. And now roaming through on the backside is Demon with, of course, that point boost. He's going to go for the Aghanim Scepter very early. AUI 2000 is going away. You can see maybe he wants that courier, but Demon's sitting right next to him looking for the Roar. Is he going to go for it? Yes, there goes the Roar coming up first. Now, there's going to be that Stormbolt as well. They need more damage here. He's going to wait for him out maybe. Yes, there it goes. Now it's telekinesis on Demon. They're going to do some more right-click damage, but... And all in the meanwhile, they're going to have a tower taken up in the top lane. Universe is going to grab that. So 5-man aggression, I believe, down in the bottom lane, except for the fact that Jayo is farming up here in the jungle right now. But they will trade tower for tower, almost get that kill on AUI 2000, but he did strength morph just in time to survive.
Yeah, so good job from Dignitas not to overreact on that dive. AUI was able to survive with the strength morph, and that is one of the reasons why you pick a morphling, is just because he's got that innate tankiness coming out from the morphing, of course, and they trade towers. So anytime you're a team that doesn't have nearly as much pushing potential as a team with a Pugna does, and you're trading towers, you're feeling pretty good about that. And You think about the supplementary income on Doom, being able to devour the creeps, he's looking pretty good in terms of his net worth. So Dignitas are still in a good position. You mentioned it's a really even game. The problem is AUI with no farm. And I'm a little bit surprised they haven't tried to rock the boat in terms of switching these lanes up a little bit sooner, maybe put AUI middle, since he could probably get farm and be a little bit more safe there. But now the bottom tier one is down, he should be able to get some farm down here, and it's going to be crucial that Dignitas give him some time without having to get involved in team fights to get CS so that he can get towards whatever item progression he wants, which in this game, maybe a BKB, probably a BKB, maybe.
I mean, we have to wait and see, but the thing is that they need to not panic, and Dignitas is very good at doing that. They're very good at just letting. I mean, AUI 2000 has been in situations before where he cannot get farm on a certain hero, and he just somehow manages to get it through the mid game stages and just, accelerates his farm to a ridiculous amount of speed. So I think that they need to not panic. At the same time, they also need to worry about this anti-mage, who's pretty close to a Battle Fury at this point. He's got a broadsword, he's going to get a Claymore soon, and then he just needs that Void Stone to finish it all off. And EG's going to go for a Smoke Gank, and they're going to try to pick up AUI 2000 again, and they're going to head down to the bottom jungle to do so. The Raise Carp Doom is done, by the way. He's got Phase and Drum. Those were just picked up, but I want to keep my eye on this gank here, and Demon's going to be leading the way. He's got that he's got that Roar. There's the Static Storm. AUI 2000 taking his Storm Bolts as well, and man, they just threw the kitchen sink at him, and Morphling is done. AUI 2000, he is
Middle
gone. And now middle right now. Bambo taking a lot of damage. He's somehow escaping for the time being, but the Dual Breath from Fog, that's going to be enough. And that Nether War, they're going to kill it, as annoying as it is. Just take care of that. So 1-for-1 trade, but they get the Morphling, which I think is the better end of that deal, despite Bambo being pretty farmed and pretty actually high in levels as well. But despite that, getting the kill, I think, on the Morphling is really the big deal. Now playing 5-man Dota as Dignitas. They're all sitting mid here. Looks like they want to go on Beatas. There's the Doom. Beatas, he can't really do anything. He's going to get ensnared from that trap from the Dark Troll Warlord, which is Snake Kings, by the way, from the Devour. Scorched Earth still going. He's still chasing after Demon. Demon body blocking again. Doesn't matter. Universe picks up the kill with that Iron Shell. Now, Telekinesis back into the Ice Path. Demon's going to fall as well. Double kill for Universe. And they might even just take a tier 1 tower. So this 5-man grouping is actually working really well right now for the side of Dignitas, and this is what they need to do. Bambo's coming in here. He's going to throw up that Nether Ward, and that's going to do a lot of damage to Solace. Snake King is going to get to Crepified, barely missing that Nether Blast, but he'll be fine. But down in the bottom lane, Fierce farming bottom, Jo's farming top, and so they're leading them to their own devices, and Dignitas right now, the 5-man is working, but they're going to back off.
Yeah, and we talked about the importance of having a Nether Ward down in the team fights. Of course, that's not possible if Pugna gets killed beforehand. Because if he places it, it's going to be really easy to pick off. And those are really good picks from Dignitas. You mentioned the trade being a little bit lopsided, the initial 1-for-1 Morphling for Pugna being lopsided in favor of EG, and that is 100% true because Morphling right now doesn't really accomplish much for your team. Pugna, even if he doesn't get any more farm for the rest of the game, is going to destroy towers and still be pretty good in team fights as well. So really is a not favorable trade, and Morphling needs to get this farm, so he goes back to bottom to look for it. But we have seen really good play from Snaking on this Doom once again. It's a hero he just seems to be really comfortable on, and so far it's working out for him. So we'll see if he can continue with that. And middle lane grouping once again, they're not ready to give up this middle lane, either team that is.
Yeah, they're going to throw, I mean, just that Nether Blast just absolutely demolishes towers, and it's just, that tower's like, no, please, stop, it hurts. The tower is at 144 health. You can't, now it's in deny range, so they can theoretically deny. They don't have, well, there's going to be an Ice Path, so there's going to be that initiation. Doom's going to go on Bambo right now. Snaking, he's going to get surged, but a long-range Stormhammer hitting on to Snaking right now. Pugna does pick up the kill on the tower somehow. Still Doom, by the way, but they will get that kill on the tower. Nothing really happening in terms of kills. While all of this is happening, by the way, Anti-Mage has his Battle Fury done, and it's a 14-minute Battle Fury with Tranquil Boots before that on top of that. So Anti-Mage, 6,800 net worth right now, and he's looking good, but Universe also getting that mech too. He's got that 1 point into wall, he's got level 10, so he's going to have that second point coming up soon, and then the level 4 vacuum on top of that. So Universe is looking very strong, and once again, that problem being that Morphling with only 3,000 net worth. He's got less than both Bambo and the Pugna as well. So he is ahead of Fear, which I guess is a little bit of a victory, but Fear is a support right now. This is supposed to be your carry, and he's got Treads and Aquila, and that's it. So a bit of a rough game for Aoi 2000 right now.
Yeah, we're going to keep coming back to it because that is where Dignitas is falling short. So right now we're seeing these team fights going pretty well for Dignitas, and that's because Anti-Mage hasn't been a part of them, obviously. When he comes in, he's going to be able to do a lot of work, and then it makes Doom think, can he use the Doom on Pugnan every single team fighter, or is he going to have to try and use it on the Anti-Mage to slow him down so they can try and get the kill there? But that's a decision they're going to have to make in the future. As for right now, they're going to try and get a gank going. Both teams, that is. There's a smoke from EG, and Dignitas are roaming as a three-man core towards bottom. They're going to run into Bambo. Bambo's just going to turn around, though, once he realizes. But really fast, Doom is in pursuit. This is going to be close.
I mean, he's got a blink dagger, and luckily he goes the wrong way. So Snaking not catching out Bambo. The top tower, though, will not live for long. There's no fortification available. So that smoke just kind of uses itself to be a travel mechanism. But they don't know that they're here. And TP, oh, that should have been canceled. Snaking, what a bait coming out right now for EG. The Roar's going to go. The Stormbolt was stolen, though, from Solace. And there's going to be that static storm on the ground. Snaking is going to escape. No. The glimpse coming back in from Beatas. He will go down the Mana Void, picking up the kill, and he gets the tower as well. And that was excellent. That bait, they sat right in the trees. Snaking had no idea they were there, and he finished that TP right as he showed himself too. And that was, he's like, no, you've got to be kidding me. Oh man, Snaking, poor Snaking.
Yeah, and that was even a really good response from Solace. He almost saved Doom there, stealing off the Stormbolt, throwing that out, and then telekinesis to follow. That was close, but of course the glimpse just absolutely destroys heroes, even fast heroes, pulling him right back into the silence and finishing him off. And there just isn't any knockout they can TP in there that would turn the fight decisively yet. So Dignitas, need to try and slow this game down. They need to keep good vision across the map. Right now we see them with no wards up, only one sentry down. They need to get better vision, and they need to just try and play it a little bit slower. I know JO is going to farm at a better rate, but as is right now, they seem to be lacking a little bit, and you can see the gold lead is starting to become something. 3,000 gold for EG and 2,000 experience as well.
Yeah, it's something indeed. I mean, Anti-Mage has got 3,400 gold, and JO's been content with farming this entire game. He's not been ganked. They've tried to gank him from time to time. It's just not been working. Demon has Invis. They're going to go for this Tier 1 tower mid as a 5-man group here for Dignitas. And they're sick and tired of getting pushed around here right now. They wanted to try to take this tower. The Nether Blast going to try to take the creep wave away, but AUI 2000, now they're going to go. Fear's going to throw that war cry out. It's going to hit only on Snaking right now. The TP rotation, Clip's coming back. They can roar if necessary. Meanwhile, Demon, oh, huge vacuum wall from Universe. Now, are they going to blink it? Yes, Snaking in on everybody. The Scorched Earth, the Doom. It's going to go on the Anti-Mage right now. There's the Nether Blast going in. Bambo, the roar was stolen. It was stolen. Demon's going to go down. Dignitas turning it around. Universe with a double kill. They're going to have a nice kinetic field, and that'll stop the aggression. No, the waveform coming out from AUI 2000, but the Stormbolt hitting up in the end, and now Fear's going to TP home. But a great wall, great vacuum, and Sahil O'Neal, ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James, he's back playing that favorite Darkseer of his, and oh gosh, Universe Dota.
That's exactly why they picked those two heroes first. I mean, it's just their ability to combo with each other so well. And I also wanted to note that, wow, Disruptor, oof, disgraceful. Oh my god, getting that denied. But I want to note that Doom, they used Glimpse on him. They tried to use the kinetic field. It tried to use everything onto Doom, and Doom just decided to speed away from it. I mean, the kinetic field didn't catch him. Glimpse pulled him back 1 foot, and now Bambo's getting ganked, and he's going to go down for sure.
Yeah,
so
Joe's just kind of like, see you later, buddy. You're on your own here, but sorry, cut you off there.
It's okay. It's really been in these team fights. Doom's a tough hero to take down, and that's the versatility of him. Even thinking back to T, saw Doom was a prominent pick. People would build him more tanky build style. I believe eHome played him pretty often as an off-laner, and that's exactly what he does. He just wants to be a nuisance in the middle of these fights. He outputs a good amount of damage, not a great amount of damage, and that team fight, just because of Jakiro and Universe, Sahil O'Neal, I like that, it just went so well for Dignitas, and I said for them to take it slow. They absolutely proved me wrong.
Yeah, right now they're going to go ahead and take a Tier 1 tower. While this is happening, though, Jao's going ahead and he's soloing Roche because he has a Vlad's, which allows him to do so. He's taking some nice hits from, I mean, Roshan is not happy with Jo right now. He's just like, look, you're not getting this Aegis for free. But in the end, it is going to go down. It is going to be a free Roshan for all intents and purposes. Dignitas is going to use this time to go ahead and smoke up and look for a pickoff here. And they're going to run into the opposing team right in front of them. And that you can see Demon walking right next to them. They're in, of course, that Radiant Ancient stack. Snaking, looking for Doom. There goes the Roar. Still stolen. The waveform going through. Demon is taking everything right now. Now Beat is trying to get out there. Can they take him down? Yes, they do. Just in time. 2 down on the side of EG. And now they're going to go ahead and kill that Nether Ward while they've got a second here. Maybe look to push that tier 2 tower. They've got to wait for everybody else. Stormhammer onto 2. Nicely done from Fear, but there's no follow-up right now, as you can see. And JO is farming top right now, so they're not looking to fight here. But Dignitas with another successful smoke. But of course, that does happen while Anti-Mage is farming away. His GPM is above 500 right now. He's got 10,000 net worth, and he's getting close to probably a Manta style at this point in time. I mean, he's got that Vlad, so he's going to go for probably Yasha Manta style next, I'd imagine.
And Solace is heating up. This guy is phenomenal right now. He's able to steal off so many different abilities throughout the team fight, but that roar was huge for them to ensure that pick off. And once they're able to get a roar and Doom on Beastmaster, if you're in EG, you just can't fight because he really is the backbone of your team fight, being able to isolate a target. And if you can't hold down a Morphling, even an underfarm Morphling, he's so difficult to kill because you have a Darkseer in your team as well. So you have all these fast heroes going in and out of the fight. And you don't want to have one of those really scattered team fights, considering there's a lot of AoE abilities for EG. So lots of props to Solus. I know we give a lot of credit to various stand-ins for being the best NA stand-ins, but Solus definitely manning up here and proving himself a valuable asset in the hands of Dignitas.
I mean, he's been around for a while, too. Solus is a veteran, I guess, in the NA Dota community. He's been somebody that you can kind of rely on to be a good player. I mean,
yeah,
he's not considered one of the best out there, but he's certainly, you know, one of the most prominent, I think.
Yeah, he was on Quantic, right?
You're thinking of Solar, I believe. I could be wrong, though.
I mixed the two up, maybe.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry.
I know he was on a team. He was on Water or Quantic or something last year, and it definitely has played a lot. And we do see a sentry come down here. It's going to spot off this Hawk. Oh, no.
Oh, that poor Hawk. That's 65 gold going for that Jakiro Fog's like, yes, money. He's going for a point booster right now. Should be an Aghanim Scepter. By the way, it is completed up for Demon. So that long-range roar is available. The Scepter cooldown is 45 seconds, and the range is the biggest steal. You can see that big cast range. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, you can see Doom going in with that Scorched Earth now. Bambo trying to get out in a nice vacuum and wall. Bambo taking a lot of damage. He should just fall from that Doom. Fear cannot get to him in time to help out. Now the stun coming in, the Centaur-Con stun coming out from Snaking. Fear, he will go down. Double kill for Snaking. All hail the king, ladies and gentlemen, with that Centaur-Con stomp coming in. Unbelievable.
And that was poor positioning from Bambo. Typical Bambo, getting caught in the worst possible place. I don't even know what he's doing that far in enemy territory. And then Fear, good guy Fear, trying to bail him out a little bit, and ends up getting himself killed as well. So Bambo, for all the good plays he makes his fair share of bad plays as well, and that definitely falls into that category.
This is Bambo Dota. But Manta Style is done for JO right now. You can see also, we talked about getting, meanwhile, Fog getting roared, and, well, JO is just going to go ahead and use his Mana Void now, casually walk away as the TP rotations are coming. But that's all they really wanted to accomplish with that gank. I mean, that was a lot to give for just one Jakiro pick off here. And they're going to throw up a Hawk as well. Now they're going to back away. Demon, of course, he's not going to get spotted out. Well, Universe actually is going to run right next to him. So Universe wants to keep going. Now here's Doom. There's going to be a vacuum on Demon right now. The mech going. The Fade Bolt. You can see Telekinesis. They have nothing to lock 778 down with. Snaking's going to grab another kill. So they trade the Jakiro in the end for Demon. Not the best trade in the world. And that allows the Doom to get the BKB. I wanted to mention, though, before that fight broke out, that they've given room to Morphling right now, who has eclipsed Bambo at 7,000 net worth. He's got the Ghost Scepter going, so it looks like it's going to be that Ethereal Blade if he can ever get that Eagle Song done, which he should be able to do so. I mean, we're talking about Iwi 2000 here. He's one of the best American farmers out there. So,
yeah, and I talked about BKB before because, of course, against Stormhammer, against Pugna's magic damage output, and Glimpse, the most frustrating ability amongst them all, it would be a nice pickup, but falling behind BKB sometimes gets taken off of the table as an item possibility. And Morphling doesn't get it all too often, but he used to get it as kind of a bread and butter item. But this pick, being able to output more damage, is going to be awesome for Dignitas, considering that Snaking is just absorbing tons and tons of damage, especially now that he has his BKB. He can run into the fights and do whatever he wants. There's no one that can focus him down that quickly in the middle of one of these team fights.
Meanwhile, there's that Aegis still up on JO, so he's okay if he does get caught out. I mean, he'll survive. That mech did go. Nether Blast already taking chunks out of his tower. It's at 50% health. They know where the ward is. It's doing some damage to them. It's reclaimed, by the way, that Aegis in 1 minute, so they've got to use it now. They know the timing for this, and that Nether Blast continues to go. Fortification's still available. Will they use it is the question. Will they let the Tier 2 tower go down? And it looks like they're going to go ahead and fortify this, but they need some sort of initiation here, but they can't do so. The ward is finally gone. Bambo can put it up again if he wants to. In fact, will do so. And AY 2000 trying to go in. There's the Stormbolt. Oh, nice Ice Path. Nice vacuum the wall. The Macro Pyre. It's doing so much work. Fogged and snaking again. They combo together, and the universe as well with that wall and vacuum. And now, be it as he's going to go down. Jo will blink away. They do lose the tier 2 tower, but what does it matter at this point? They've taken up 2 kills. They've wasted the Aegis, even though the Aegis was going to go down anyways. But another great defense coming out from Dignitas. And with those few initiations alone, they're getting 2,000 in experience, and it's back to even in gold right now.
Universe Dota, Snaking Dota, 507 on Universe on that Darkseer, 617 on Doom. And these lanes, I mean, EG having Jo versus Universe up top, that's a lane that EG loves to have. Anti-Mage versus the Darkseer, and Universe just upping the ante a little bit here by playing so well, especially in these team fights now, getting those vacuums off that are chaining into Fog's Ice Path, and then total destruction and mayhem, taking down the Aegis and a couple more kills in that last instance was good. And this is the problem with a team that features a Pugna. Pugna's value comes in that he kills towers, but you can't be constantly trading deaths to try and get those towers, because of course we talk about the fact that deaths are renewable gold. You can, of course, get more and more kills over the course of a game, but you can't get more towers. They don't just re-sprout up from time to time. Once you kill them, you cash in on them. And that's money they've already spent. So Dignitas are going to be able to start amounting even more of an experience lead and more of a gold lead if the fights keep going this way. And it's going to look devastating for EG since AUI is becoming a factor slowly but surely.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the economics lecture brought to you by NY John. Putting that to pretty good use. But, I mean, you're talking about AUI 2000. He's going to become a big factor. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And at this point, you always think when you see an anti-mage, you're like, well, how are you supposed to beat that? But Dignitas is really doing really well at this point. However, I mean, it's still pretty much anyone's game, especially with how well Jo's been farming. And right now, he's, of course, got that Reaver up, so he's got that going for him. Yeah, I mean, there's been perfect fights coming out for Dignitas, but how long can they go? I mean, there's going to be another nice vacuum wall, but this time it's only on Bambo. He's going to get forced out immediately. Nice run to Snaking. Stormbolt as well. Snaking's going to go down, and Jo picks up a double kill somehow immediately. Now the glimpse back on AUI 2000. Can they get him? No, it looks like they cannot. Snaking already down. Nice use of that wall. Fear taking a lot of damage with that God Strength, of course, that illusion, but the illusion will go down. Fear, that Earn Charge is going to try to TP back home. He should make it in time. Yes, looks like he will. So 2 down right now on the side of Dignitas, and that fight goes immediately for EG, and just that jump in, I was not expecting it, but suddenly EG, they're looking to go for the high ground here and for tier 3 as well, but they might just back off as Fear is not here, and the rest of the team, as you can see, is gone as well, so they're just going to send Jo here. He'll blink out when necessary and leave his illusions to do the work here.
Yeah, and that team fight was a little bit poor because they didn't catch more than one target. They only brought in the Pugna, and they immediately tried to jump on the Pugna, and just the counter engage from EG was there, and it was enough to turn the fight in their favor. Snaking getting caught off by everything. I mean, hit by the roar and then chained up with various silences and what have you from the rest of the Geniuses side. So that's exactly what they don't need. They need to initiate with these 2 or 3 heroes getting caught from the Darkseer Jakiro combo. Otherwise, there's going to be opportunity for EG to back off a little bit and find their re-engage, which they just were able to accomplish, and that turned the team fight horrible for Dignitas. So still very much so a game. Very much so an even close game as you would expect out of these 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, these are 2 teams, and they competed very well at DreamHack Summer. A lot of people were concerned about Dignitas' play leading up to DreamHack. But I gotta say, Dignitas, even with the stand-in, they look like they're renewed, they're reinvigorated, and that's really what I'm looking forward to, not only for the ADL, but for TI3 as well. EG have been playing outstandingly. We talked about how they're undefeated. I believe they're 9-0 in the ADL group stages right now, or the, I guess, league play, if you will. But at this point in time, Roshan is going to be up in about a minute, or at least 45 seconds, and then this is where the battle should be. But Jo is extraordinarily farmed. He's got a Heart of Trask, he's got a Manta Style, he's got a Vlad, so there's not a whole lot they can do, I'm not sure, unless they get that perfect team fight, which we keep talking about, but I mean, they've got the tools to do it. And Snaking, he looks like he's going to be either going for Sheep's Guard or for an AC. I'm probably going to guess an AC here. I mean, just throwing that out there. Meanwhile, Universe, or excuse me, not Universe, Demon's going to throw up that Scout Hawk. It's going to give vision over the Roche Pit. It's exactly what they need right now. Jo's going to go ahead and push bottom while, of course, the Morphling pushes top. So they're going to trade tier 2 for tier 2 here, it looks like. And I don't think either team really cares. They're kind of really more concerned about the Roche at this point in time.
Yeah, we'll see if there's going to be a little bit of an engage here. You can see Beatus is going to use a glimpse to pull back Snaking, but Snaking's just going to blink back to where he was. So insignificant actions occurring. Bottom lane, Jo hasn't relented. He's going to continue to push out this lane, go towards this tower. The tier 3 is going to take a little bit of damage here, perhaps. There's a glyph available, though, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Dignitas are just kind of caught in no man's land, because if they all come back to try and respond to this, then maybe there's an opening to go for a Roshan for the side of EG, but they're going to react properly. They only send back one. It's only AUI, and now they're still close enough to the pit where they can respond in a prompt fashion should EG try to engage on it here.
Yeah, and they have a Gem of True set on Demon. They're going to counter ward immediately here. If there are any wards up, I don't believe so. It looks like there is one up right here, but they're going to scout that out with Demon's Hawk right now. Universe is smoked up, and everybody's here right now. They have a sight. They're going to throw it up on Beatus. There's the Roar coming in as well. The Ice Path is going to go. BKB as well. Fear now. God Strength doing a lot of damage. Roar. Macro Power is on the ground. There's a nice vacuum coming in, but where's the wall? It's not there. No wall. And in fact, Universe goes down, and a double kill for Fear with that God Strength. And now AUI 2000 nowhere near there, and Snaking as well, and this is going to be another free Roche. AUI 2000, I believe he used that Ethereal Blade, but he didn't get a whole lot done in that fight. But there was no wall from Universe. You can see it's still off cooldown. Excuse me. He did hex up, but he got immediately focused down in that team fight and just got obliterated. And Fear, who was a support early on, has a BKB and enough damage from God Strength level 2 to just cleave and kill everybody.
Yeah, and Jo was doomed during that fight. They stole a Roar as well. Solace got off another Roar, and it still was not enough for you Dignitas to come out with a teamfight victory, and that really is going to be discouraging. We see EG push towards their base, so EG are looking the more formidable side. They fall back on the JO's farm, and now here we go, engage.
Snaking. He's definitely in some trouble right now. The Mana Boy, they give everything to him now. He's going to buy back immediately. He's got to. The Ice Path is going to come out. They've got the fortification. There's still time here, but it looks like EG wants to go on this. They're going to go ahead and use that level death on Jo. He'll back off. He does have that Aegis, and so EG, that's a smart play. Get that kill, back off. They don't need to push anything just yet. They've got about 6 minutes with that Aegis. There's no point in wasting it right away. They're going to go ahead, ward the Ancient Stack, or counter ward it with that Gem of True Sight, which is up on Demon, by the way. And I think EG, even though they haven't broken into the base just yet, this is a point where Anti-Mage is extraordinarily farmed, and there's not a whole lot they can do to stop this farm and this hero from just kind of decimating the opposing team here. He's at 22,000 in net worth. We look at the levels. He's level 22 in comparison to the next closest, which is level 15 from everybody on Dignitas, or 16, I suppose, if you're snaking. So, I mean, they're pretty far ahead at least. I mean, a lot of that experience lead is coming from Jo himself right now, as well as Gold.
Yeah, and this is typical Jo. He does his own thing for a long time, gets involved in a meaningful way in the team fights. He hasn't suffered any deaths yet. 5-0-3, 340 CS. Phenomenal numbers across the board. The closest next CS is 168 from Dignitas, so he's double that in a huge way. I mean, it's just ridiculousness. But the thing is, I mean, EG are definitely in a powerful position. They're definitely favored right now where the game stands. But if you can kill off all of the supports in the middle of one of these team fights with a good engage, and if Anti-Mage is the last man standing, it's going to be difficult for him to just gnaw through all of these heroes at once. However, the Dignitas are still lacking damage output. That's the problem with Doom. We talked about it earlier. He doesn't deal that much damage, really, and that's what Morphling was supposed to be. And Ethereal Blade allows him to hit one target pretty hard, but as for the rest of the team, he's just not doing as much. So falling off early has really, really hurt Dignitas' chances of playing a victory out of this game. AUI in particular has been struggling, and only 1 and 2, so not too many deaths, but you could see his farm isn't anywhere near where he wants to be at 34 minutes.
Yeah, it's at 181 right now, but I mean, you go back to Jo, and he's got 354. I just imagine like Fear as this like Emperor Palpatine type figure, like laughing, sitting over Jo, like yes, the CS, yes, this is how I trained you. And of course, Jo is like Darth Vader or something. He's like, yes, master, I'm farming so efficiently. I have my butterfly now. So Jo is looking really good right now. Of course, just switching roles, and that's kind of we talked about it. EG likes to switch roles all sorts of times here, but they found something that's working really well for them with Jo on that lead farm role, Bambo in that off lane, but sort of in that tri lane kind of now, actually more than anything. Pugna does pick up the Aghanim Scepter, which Life Drain has not been seen, I don't think, once this game, but is good with the Aghanim Scepter, by the way. It's kind of one of those ults where you're like, I guess it's good, but then you get the Aghanim Scepter, you're like, all right, okay, I can deal with this. All right, that's fine, yeah. But, I mean, you talked about AUI 2000 as well in his farm, and he's going to be going for BKB, which you mentioned earlier on. He should have gotten maybe as his first item, something like that. And I definitely agree with you. It is what he needs to have. It allows him to stay in fights, allows him to have a little bit more utility rather than get focused down by a bunch of different magic damage sources here. The problem being, though, right now is that there's just so much damage coming out because that Mask of Madness just finished up on the Sven, and they've got a lot of items there on the side of EG. They've got 2 Aghanims, a Butterfly. We just talked about that Mask of Madness Heart. I mean, they've got a mech. They've got a Forest Staff. Dignitas has a lot of items, but in comparison, it pales a little bit here, and they're going to look for a fight. Snaking's just going to blink right on it. He's going to get BKB'd. Roar taking a lot of that damage, but Fear going with the God Strength. As you can see in the Mask of Madness, Doom's going to go. Nether Ward on the ground, fogged. Nice Static Storm coming in for Beatus. Still, Fear is still Doom, by the way. Glimpse back on AUI 2000. Waveform coming through. There's going to be that wall of replica. Meanwhile, Jo comes down the backside, absolutely decimates AUI 2000. He's going to get hexed up, but it doesn't matter. Going toe-to-toe. I'm not sure what Solace was doing out there. Wicked sick for Jo as he picks up another kill. This one on Darkseer. And they're going to call GG without even taking any part of the base here. And they just get kills, and they just make him say, that's enough. That's it. So EG, they're going to take this game. And we're going to move on to another game, which is going to be Dignitas versus Liquid. And we'll see how they react in that game. But an amazing play coming out from the side of Jo. And just him getting pretty much all the kills here. I mean, and this is exactly what you see from EG and their anti-mage, as well as just any of the carries that Jo plays.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this is a game where the tri-lane for EG went well initially, but it didn't go that well. I mean, it was just annoying enough that Dignitas couldn't find any kind of rhythm for their carry. The role players played phenomenally well. The Doom, the Darkseer, and even the Jakiro and Rubik, it just... When you have a Morphling, that's a hero that needs farm to deal damage. Maybe if that was something like a Luna or one of the more standard carries instead, it could have functioned a little bit better, but... I know they use the Morphling, and it definitely works in some instances. It just didn't pan out for them in this game.
That's right, guys. So we are going to jump into the next game. I believe it is Team Dignitas versus Team Liquid. So thank you for joining us here. NY John, where can they find you, and do you have any shout-outs before we get into the next game?
You can check me out at NYJohnTV on Twitter, and that would be awesome if you want to follow me there. I have no shout-outs right now, but we have plenty more games coming up that should be awesome, so stay tuned.
Yeah, guys, so we'll be back in just a moment. Once again, my name is Mon. If you enjoyed the casting, please give us some criticism, some thoughts on the cast in the Twitch chat. You can follow me at twitter.com/MontDota2 as well as twitch.tv/MontDota2. Make sure you check out the American Dota League ticket in-game and the Dota TV, Dota store, as well as follow us at American Dota and twitch.tv/American Dota League. We'll be right back, guys. Thanks for sticking around.